You know, sometimes something happens to you and it makes you question things. And often those things are things you probably should have questioned a long time ago. And an example occurred this morning as I was on my way into the office. I'm driving down a back street. I don't really have any stop signs on this stretch of roadway. And off of a side street, a golf cart runs a stop sign, almost crashes into my car. Luckily, we didn't crash. Golf cart stopped in the nick of time. But it got me thinking, well, can there be liability for a golf cart injury or a crash that occurs in a golf cart? Yeah, of course, right? Any negligence, any type of crash can result in liability on a person who causes it. There are some unique issues relating to golf carts, which I'll kind of talk about here briefly. But yes, the answer is if you were hurt or injured as a result of a crash or an incident involving a golf cart, you should probably speak to an attorney, because while the injuries themselves may not necessarily always be catastrophic, they can be. And two, typically the injuries also result where you don't have much protection around you. So they can oftentimes be worse than what you would receive in a typical car or truck crash. And so we've seen broken bones, torn ligaments, internal injuries, all the way up to death type injuries resulting from golf cart crashes and incidents. They can be very tragic. The proliferation of golf carts on our roadways can kind of be traced back to this legislation. Came out, I think it was around 2015. The state allowed local governments to regulate the usage of golf carts on local parish city roadways. So we're not talking about interstate roadways, US highways, big state highways. We're just talking about in your neighborhoods. And the rules basically say the parish can allow it, the city can allow it, golf cart has to be registered, the owner of the golf cart has to show that they have insurance for the golf cart that meets the state minimum requirements, and the operator has to follow all the rules of the road. What does that mean? It means they have to be licensed, they have to abide by stop signs and speed limits and et cetera, you know? But here's the thing, especially in neighborhoods, we see a lot of children operating golf carts, children who may not be properly licensed, and that can create some issues, create some liability for the parents who allow that to occur. It can create some pretty tragic consequences because children are not always familiar with the rules of the road. They're not always familiar what to do if an incident occurs. And children don't always make the best decisions, right? I mean, think of some of the things you did. When I think back on things that I did as a kid, you know, jumping off of stuff that's moving, you know, not always the best decision, but we know it happens. And so, yes, there can be liability for injuries that occur as a result of a golf cart crash, for injuries that occur as a result of being in a crash with a golf cart. The other factor that makes golf cart crashes unique is you don't have a lot of protection. You know, they're not built to highway standards, right? You don't have front crash detection, you don't have side doors and airbags, the seat belts. If they even have them, typically only belt level. They don't harness you in, so you can have the same type of whiplash injuries. And while the vehicle itself doesn't move quickly, you know, typically 15 miles an hour, a lot of folks soup them up, make them run faster, change out batteries, change out components to make the golf cart more unique to them, but it also makes it more dangerous. And so those are all some things that are kind of unique to golf carts. But if you were injured as a result of a golf cart crash, or you yourself were injured as a result of someone else being in a golf cart causing an incident, please reach out. Let us help evaluate exactly what's going on and see if we can help you recover some financial justice for the injuries that were sustained. Thanks.